Yeah! Let's get this going. The MPC-1 is a beautiful device. You could load samples on here. You could chop up your samples. You could go ahead and make songs out of samples on the MPC-1. So in this video, I want to download a sample into the MPC-1 and I want to make a beat, but I want to show you that you can actually clear the sample as well, and you don't have to worry about copyright issues in the future if you do this. Check it out. What's up? My name is Matthew Stratton. On this channel, I'll do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews like this one to help you create and record music. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. A couple months ago, I asked you what do you want to see on this channel, and Eric Berry said he would love to see song mode, export process, uploading to Spotify and DistroKid. Would also be interested in potential sample clearance. So if you're using samples at home by yourself, and just making some songs, you don't really have to worry about it. But as soon as you put these on the internet and start releasing these samples, all right, or these songs that contain samples, you need to actually credit the original artist, and you need to get sample clearance so you can go ahead and upload that to Spotify and have people start streaming that, and you don't have to worry about any copyright issues. And the easy way to do this is to use a service by Tracklib. And what Tracklib is an online record store for sampling. They have a catalog with over 80,000 songs that is continuously growing. And any of the songs that you download and sample from tracklib.com, you have the ability to get these samples 100% clear. This is a great service. So when Tracklib reached out to me about collabing with this, I was like, this is perfect because this answers that question of how you can clear your samples. And if you want to sign up for this, I do have a link I'm going to put in the description of this video. It's going to give you 15 free songs that you could download and you can use, to make songs. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and cover some of how this works. So go ahead and stay tuned to this video. Now, before we get too deep into this video, I do want to let you know I am going to leave timestamps in the description. So check the description for timestamps. And you might see timestamps at the bottom of the screen. Before we take a look around the website, I do want to cover what the subscription plans are. So you get 3 different subscription plans. You got the Essentials, the Standard, and the Professional. On the Essentials plan, it's $5.99 a month, and you get 5 track downloads of your choice with 2 additional feature track downloads. Now, the next plan is the Standard plan, and that comes in at $13.99 a month. You do get 15 track downloads of your choice a month, plus 2 feature tracks a month. And then you have the Professional plan at $29.99 a month. So if you want to do a lot of sampling, you could get 35 track downloads of your choice within a month, plus 2 feature downloads. So let's go into the licensing really quick. There are 3 different categories. Category C for $50, category B for $500, category A for $1,500 per license. So after you're done making the song and you're ready to release, you register your song with Tracklib and you basically just purchase a license. Now, after you do purchase a license, there is going to be a royalty that you're going to need to pay as well. But it isn't much. It just depends on how much of the sample that you use and what category it is actually in. You can see the breakdown right here. So if you register a song in category C, which most of the songs on here, 90% of the songs on this website are category C, it tells you what the percentage is based on how many seconds of the original song that you use in your arrangement. So if you're using category C and you're using less or equal to 2 seconds worth of the sample, you need to pay 2% of your royalties. So this is already pre-set up for you. So you don't have to worry about negotiating any of this. It's already set up for you. So you just pick the category and then how long you want to use of that sample. So let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about browsing samples so you can go ahead and download them. So let's go to tracks. I want to click on tracks and you can see the first thing we get is inspiration. All right. And you can see we get our free track right there. We got theme collections we could go through. So like, let's say you were looking for a drum loop right here. We got the drum loop madness collection. Let's listen. All right. You can see it pre-selected the drum loop for me. So that's a cool feature, right? When you browse some of these collections, they're already pre-selected for you. So you know where, some of the good samples are. Yeah. All right. So say you like that. What you could do is click download right here, but notice it says download loop. Now the reason why it says download loop is because I have the loop mode on. So if I only wanted to download that little section of it, I would leave loop mode on and just click download. So that could help you save space in your RAM on your MPC. But if you do want the whole thing, just unclick the loop section. Then you would click download track. All right. And then you got newly added. So here's where you can see all the new stuff, right? And if you wanted to see more of the newly added, you can push select all and you get a nice list right there. Let's say you wanted to pick a genre. You could pick your genres right here. Song keys. So that's something good to note. Each one of these songs does have the release date. It has the BPM and it has the key. All right. And then it also has a genre here. So let's say you wanted to have, like a song that's in C major. Here are all the songs in C major. All right. That sounds cool, right? Let's say I liked that sample, but I wasn't ready to download it right away, or if I wasn't sure if I wanted to use it. What I could do is push this little plus icon. I can add it to a collection. Now you can see I made these collections. So I can add it to a new collection and then name it whatever I want. Or I already created a few. So like right here, I have piano. So if I like that piano, I could just add it to my piano collection. And then later on, if I want to make a beat with a piano in it and I don't have a lot of time to dig, I can just go to my collection and then I can see all my piano tracks. Like right here, here's a Rhodes piano. Like smooth, right? So I thought that was a really cool feature that you could actually make different lists. Now there's one more thing I really want to showcase here. And you can see right here, here's a collection. This is the multi-track collection. All right, so right here, check this out. That is funky right there. So let's say I wanted to loop this little section, right? But I didn't want to have the drums in there, or if I only wanted to have the guitar, like that little funky guitar in the background, what we can do is click where it says 7 multi-tracks, click that, and you can see we have the master track, we have the bass track, the drum track, the percussion track, the guitar track, the lead vocals, the woodwind. So if I just wanted that guitar, I could click right there. Yeah. So let's say I actually did want this. You can see I haven't downloaded it yet. It's going to take 1 credit to download, right? So I'm going to press download and you can see that this is going to go over here and then we can download the track. So now that I did download that, that's going to be a part of my purchased tracks. So right here, it says your library, purchased tracks. So that's going to show up right here. So I selected a track that I want to download onto my MPC one and make a song out of. So if you look right here, we got this particular track. Okay, so after I'm done auditioning it and I'm happy with that track and I want to download it, what I can do is press download track. So if I click this arrow, it's going to start downloading that track to my computer. So I'm going to go to that folder that is in. Okay, that's that folder right there. And then I'm going to take my SD card, plug it into my computer. This is my actual SD card. So I'm going to make a new folder in here so we're nice and organized. Okay, I'm just going to make a whole new folder. I'm going to call it Tracklib Samples. So the next thing to do is to pull this WAV file directly into that folder that we created. So if I click into there, we can see this is the exact same file. So now that that's transferred over, I can go ahead and eject. So I'm going to right click, press eject. It's going to eject the SD card and then I can remove it right from the computer and plug it into the MPC one. So we got the sample on the SD card. So the next step would be to load the sample from the SD card into a project on the MPC one. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple to do. So let's go ahead and go into an empty project. And then once you're in an empty project, you could go ahead and press browse, and that's going to take you to the browser. Now, if you go to places, this is going to be all the different devices you have plugged in. So I'm going to put the SD card in right into the SD card slot, and then watch right here. You can see that it comes up right away. So when I go ahead and tap on that, you can see that particular folder that I created when it was in the computer. So I'm going to go into that Tracklib Samples folder, And then that is the actual Jazz Face master file. So this is the master wave file. So these are going to be high quality wave files, and we can go ahead and load into the MPC. So when I press load, it's going to load that into the sample pool of the MPC. And at that point, we could chop it up and make a beat. So let's go to sample edit. And then here is our sample. All right, so once we're in sample edit, we could go ahead and adjust this sample how we want to. This is the fun of the MPC one. You get a lot of options here. So let's listen to our sample. I really like that part where the strings come in. Maybe add a drum beat to it, a little bass line. So you hear that piano and that sax. And that strings come in. Boom. There's so much in this sample. I gotta contain myself. So let's go ahead and select this part of the sample. So I want to go ahead and push process and then extract. It's going to make a new sample out of that. And it's going to take just that part that I selected. I can go ahead and mess with the tuning of it a little bit. All right, so I'm done with trim mode for the moment. I'm going to go over to chop. If you press right here, you can get out of trim mode, go into chop. I'm just going to show you this little lazy chop method. All right, so I want to hit this pad. That's sweet sounding, but let's go ahead and, make this into a drum program. So if you press shift, convert, go over here, you can make a drum program, new program using slices, pad, parameters. Go back to main. Now this is a blank project. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna probably just add some drums and a bass line to this. All right, so I got drums, bass, sample 1, sample 2. I'm gonna go to the sample 1 track, go here, boom. Here's our sample. All right, so what I'm thinking is just start basic and then start building it up. I might not talk a lot in this next section because I might get in the zone, but let's go ahead and jump into this. Overdub. Let me go to the drums, find some drums. I'm just going to use an expansion, and I really like how the drums sound on this one. All right, let's go ahead and load this one up. F9 expansion. Let's see what we got. There it is. Ooh. Yeah, I think this is really coming along. I think this is going to sound really good. All right, my friends. So what I did is I actually extracted another portion of that sample and I made a new drum program out of it in a new sequence. So this way there's at least 2 different sections of the song. And then I made a transition sequence. I'm going to show you the transition. So I go from this particular beat. All right, so if you listen, I'm going from sequence 8 to sequence 9. 9's going to be a transition. Boom, right into 10. So that's that there. So the only thing left for me to do is throw this in song mode and go ahead and make a song out of it. So go to menu, song mode, and then I'm going to sequence it out. So if I press overdub, it's going to make it really simple just to add these in. I'm going to go sequence 1, then I believe it's sequence 4, and I believe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, just to let you know, if you do want to export your song directly from song mode, you just press export, and then you can pick what kind of file you want to export. If you just want to export a WAV file, you can do that there, and then press export. Okay, and then you pick where you want to save it, and then you just press save, and then it'll export that file for you. Hey, if you're finding value in this video, remember to give it a thumbs up below. It's going to help this video get seen by those who need to see it. I appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and click or tap the screen over here to take you to a playlist that's going to feature some videos about the MPC-1. My name is Matthew. Continue to create your music, and we'll talk soon.